Hashtag YOS. What does YOS mean? I'm having so much fun with this YOS. Although I'm a huge advocate of not being a single person, because I believe, one is too small of a number to achieve success, contrary to what influencers tend to want to portray, what they want to convey, that kind of stuff. They're self-made, I did it all on my lonesome, that kind of thing. So I'm a huge, huge advocate of
coming alongside people, being that person who is going to come alongside you to help make a difference in your world, to help make a difference in your community, to help make a difference in the world in general. And the opportunity this afternoon is not lost on me. Your presence here, ladies and gentlemen, is not lost on me, because I am fully aware of the fact that you could be doing anything right now. It is 7 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon, and you could choose to do anything you want. But guess what? You chose to be here. And I am eternally grateful that you made that choice. I am overjoyed with the fact that you made such a choice. So I want for you to pause for a minute. I want for you to put down your pen. You're going to need it later on, but put your pen down, put your notepad down. Just let's get centered for a minute. Let's acknowledge the presence that called us to be here together. Let's get into this place of why, not so much why are you here? Because you're going to hear me say a lot of things. Okay? You're going to hear me say things. Sometimes you may have heard it before. You may hear me say some things that you're hearing for the very first time. But I will submit to you, it's not what you hear me say, as much as it is what I say triggers in you. So I need for you to stop for a minute and acknowledge the fact that you're here for a purpose. You're here for a purpose, and the question you need to ask yourself is, what is that purpose? Now, I'm not asking you to raise your hand or blurt it out, but for you to reflect on the purpose for me being here. I can tell you my purpose is to do, have more as an individual, so I can add more to you as a person. That's my purpose. I am just the vessel. I am just the vehicle that the years of knowledge, the years of experience, the years of mentors, the years of teachers are just going to flow through. It's in and through me. It is not from me. I am just that which has been chosen to deliver to you that which you ought to hear. So what is your purpose? How are you going to take away, and what are you going to take away, and how will that align? I never pick up a book to read without asking myself, what is the purpose for me reading this book? How will I apply what I'm about to read in this book to my life and the life of those that I come into contact with? That's my purpose. I don't pick up the phone to call someone without saying, what is my purpose? What value and how will I add value to that individual at the end of that conversation? If I have not added value to you at the end of that conversation, I have failed. What's my purpose? So I want for us to center for a minute. You may want to take a deep breath to relax, but you want to put yourself in that place of, this is why I'm here. Because you could be doing anything else. I am truly grateful for your presence, and I plan to be present for you as well. Okay? Now, I'll be the first to admit that I do not have at my command the luxury of time to dive into everything that I would want to get into today. But I'll do my best to skip the top of the waves, and I'm going to entertain a dialogue, so to speak, so you guys can get as much. And I'll share some information as to how you can get more and get, how we can align ourselves more and how I can add more value to you when we finally leave here. Okay. That being said, who's excited? Now, if I was standing in a room with you, I'll be asking you to do a bunch of little tricks and tips and all that kind of fancy stuff. But as you can see, I'm sitting. Now, it's typically I'm a stage standing type of guy, so I'm standing. But I'm sitting today, so it's an exercise in humility. It's an exercise in being still. It's an exercise in being calm for me. At the same time, I will ensure that, with the God-given beliefs and talents that He's gifted me with, that I can deliver to you and add value to you as we go along. Now, one of the things that I wanted to cover in our time here together this evening is, again, well, let me put this out of the way first and foremost. Let's get the sales speech out of the way right away, up front. I'm not one of those guys who's gonna talk to you and then sell you from the back of the room. I'm telling you right now, up front. This is what I'm selling you today. So we can get the checkbooks out of the way. We can get all the credit cards out of the way right now. I am gonna sell you today absolutely nothing. So you can sit back and you can relax. Everything is absolutely 100% discounted for you. Okay, you get 100% credit for what's going on here. And what I'm talking about when I say 100% discount is, a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift that is going to challenge you. A paradigm shift that is going to ignite in you. And a paradigm shift that's designed to equip you. I call it the ICE approach. Ignite, challenge, and equip. My goal is to be able to, take the ICE approach, ignite in you that fire, that burning desire, this all-consuming burning desire. My goal is for you to be able to look on a goal that you have recently set and say, you know what? I need to revisit that goal. That's the ignite part. The goal may have been sitting aside for a while. The goal may have been, I'll get to it when I get to it. You were excited when you said it. But where are you now in that process? So that's the igniting part. The challenging part for you is that the right goal? I will submit to you and I'll show you later on how most individuals who set goal, they don't set goal to challenge themselves. They set a goal because they know they can achieve that goal. A goal that you know that you can achieve, I hate to be the one to break it to you, ladies and gentlemen, but the goal that you are fully aware of how you're going to achieve it, it's not a goal. It's a task. Go do it. A goal is something that's designed to stretch you, to pull you beyond. It's like this elastic band that is going to pull you beyond that which you know how to do. Anything that you know how to do, my friends, please don't call it a goal. And the last part of the ICE is going to equip you. Because again, like I said at the top, I can't do it alone. I didn't do it alone. Whether I chose to read books or attend seminars or watch webinars or podcasts, that's not alone. And I have to give credence to that who provided these things to me, first and foremost. I mean, let me get something out of the way so that I don't offend anybody. But those of you who know me, that you know that I couldn't really care less if I offend you, because my intention is to hey, how can I be the ice man if I'm going to be concerned about you being offended? Wait a second, ice, and I'm concerned. Anyhow, the point is, while the intent is not to offend, the intent is also to put the ice on you, ignite, challenge, and equip. Okay, so I want to get out of the way that I'm a person of faith. Okay, I may preach to you, but you may want to get up and stomp and sing hallelujah. That's okay, because I'm a person of faith. Nothing I say to you is of my own doing and my own thinking. I'm not that smart. But that he whom I serve has gifted me with certain gifts and talents. And I'll be darned if I'm going to let him take away those 10 talents that he gave me and give it to someone else who's going to put better use to it. So I will do it. So that being said, what are the 5 pillars? What are pillars? When you think of a pillar, you think of a structure. You think of something that is holding something up. Okay. Now, I don't believe in the key to success and these kind of things, because there is no key to success. Because what worked for the next person sure as heck ain't gonna work for you. It didn't work for me. I have a friend of mine, story time. I have a friend of mine, and at the age of 21, when he was 21 years old, he said to himself, and to all of us, he said he's going to be a millionaire by the time he's 26. So he quit school. Parents were wealthy individuals. He quit school. He used to stay up late, hang out in his car, didn't go home for weeks and stuff like that. And he was just pounding the pavement, doing sales. Fast forward 4 years from 21, he was actually a millionaire. I know what he did. He was in the subway station at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning selling. He was meeting people on the streets of Manhattan selling. That's what he did, and he became a millionaire. That's his key. Not mine. Not yours. Many of us set a goal not even knowing, wait a second, I'm going to achieve it because someone else did. What that says to you, because someone else did, tells you that it's also possible for you. It doesn't say it's guaranteed to you, but it's possible for you. There's a huge difference. We need to know people who have done it. We need to know people who have achieved. We need to know people who have paved the way, so to speak. So then we become aware of what's possible. But unless we develop that attitude, unless we change, unless we transform the way we think, the way we approach, even the way we set a simple goal, unless we transform that, it will remain a possibility. Mm-hmm. And you'll have someone saying at your funeral, man, he had a lot of potential. That's the worst thing anyone can say about you at your funeral. He had potential. Les Brown, one of my mentors, said to me one time that the place that you would find the most dead dreams and goals is in a cemetery, because people take it with them. I submit to you as of today, commit yourself to not take your dreams and goals with you. You have got to live full, die empty. Live full, die empty. When you leave, my goal in life is so that when I'm gone, someone could say, my life was better because I encountered Anthony. My life was better because of what I learned from Anthony. My life was better because he came alongside me and he added value. You cannot add value if you don't see value in yourself. You cannot add value if you don't perceive yourself as valuable. What do you see when you look in the mirror? And trust you me when I tell you, I'm going to hold that mirror up to you. I'm going to hold that. Get your hair right. Get your lashes on. Come on now. Let's see those lashes. Get those lashes on. Snap them on. Come on. Get it in there. You know? I mean, all natural stuff we're talking about here, because it's our temple and we're conscious of what we do to it. But I'm going to hold that mirror up to you. A challenge is not a challenge if I sit back and allow you to do things the way you've always been doing it. When you say to me, this is my goal, I will not be challenging you if I am allowing you to do things the way you've been doing it. There is no transformation in that. I won't be the Iceman if I just simply challenge you, or I get you rah excited with the igniting part, but I don't equip you. What tools do you need? What resources do you need for that specific goal? I have a program that I call Your Roadmap to Success. Now, it's not called Your Roadmap to Success because it's mine and I'm giving it to you. It's called Your Roadmap to Success because my role in it is to be the Iceman. I'm the ice bearer. You know, in the football games, when they win the football game, the coaches get this ice bucket dumped on their head, that type of thing. I'm that guy. Sometimes you won't see it coming. Think of having a bucket of ice cold water, and it won't be Gatorade, something that you can just let me sip what's rolling off my nostrils and my eyebrows. It's gonna be real cold ice water. Dry ice, maybe. That might be something to it. Anywho, but my point here is I will not be adding value if I am not doing these things, if I'm not providing resources, if I'm not providing tools, if I'm not helping you set up systems to get that. But it's yours. It's your roadmap. And the number 2 in there is not your roadmap TO success. I'm not getting you to success. Your roadmap, 2 of us are making it happen. Because like I said, 1 is too small of a number to achieve greatness. Don't be misguided, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think that you're going to do this and say you're self-made. Granted, I'm not doing it for you to acknowledge me in the process, but for you to become aware. Raise your level of awareness. Now, as I dive into these things, like I said, the command of time is not at my disposal to get into depth in everything. I want you to think of something. When you hear something today, you got to ask yourself, is this something that I need to act on? I'm teaching you what we call the ACT of success. A, do I need to take action? Is this something that, I need to apply this to my life? I need to apply this to that which I'm currently working on. Or maybe it's a C. I need to change how I'm doing this. I need to change how I'm thinking about doing this. I need to change my behavior. I need to change my thought process. I need to change something, my friends, my association, my circle. That's the C part. And what's the T? Is there someone that should have been here to hear this, but is not here? Can I go teach them this? Understand, I am not doing this to hold on to it. If I add value to you, you add value to the next person. They add value to the next person. They add value to the next person.
That's right.
So who can you think of? Pause for a moment now and ask yourself, who would, if given the opportunity, you'd have loved for them to be here experiencing this? That's a teaching moment. That's your aha moment. Like I said earlier, it's not what I say, but how what I say triggers in you. The thought that you have, that's the notes you take. You're going to get a recording of this. So trying to write down everything and say is an exercise in futility. But you write down the thought that you have when you hear what you hear. Then you can put an A next to aha. I need to apply. I need to take action. Or a C. I need to change this. There's some changes that needs to happen here. But you know what? I need to pass this along to someone right quick. So you put a T next to it. So we spoke about the ice. We spoke about the ACTs of my approach. So let's dive into why you're really here. Because I don't want you to think that it's all fluff and he's just talking all this stuff. I want the pillars. Give me the pillars. Where are the pillars? I'm ready to build. But what are you ready to build upon? I'll get to them real quick. Now, I chose the number 5 for a simple reason. This is one of the first milestones as a kid when you're learning to count. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're so excited you've got 5 fingers. In each hand, you've got 5 toes. You learned you got 5 senses. So 5 was a nice round number. And then I realized that, wait a minute, they actually fit. Pillar number 1, and it's called the 5 pillars of growth, wellness, and success. Now I'm going to give them to you, not in any specific order, then I'll circle back and I'll pick 1 maybe or 2 if time allows, and I will dive a little bit into it. And in no order of priority, pillar number 1 is your spiritual well-being. Now, again, it's no coincidence that that's the first one that I mentioned because, like I said, I'm a person who fits, so this is going to be represented in pretty much what I do. Okay, tell a story, make a point. I was invited to do a leadership workshop at a church. It was on a Sunday afternoon. And I showed up, as I usually do, about an hour before I'm supposed to take the stage. And I was just mingling through the crowd, sitting around, hanging around, just sitting down next to this person, having a conversation, talking to this person. And, I didn't appear from the back of the stage. I was in the audience just mingling. So I met quite a few people, had some conversations, heard some stories, and I wove those stories into my leadership talk at the end of that show. When I was done, this lady walked up to me and she was like, "I really loved your presentation. Where did you get your material from?" So there were a group of folks hanging around me, ready, wanting to get my attention, to have conversations, ask questions, maybe take a photo. And she was like, I looked over at her and I was like, pause for a minute. And I said, "You don't really want to ask me that question." I pivoted and I continued the conversation with someone else. But she was persistent. She came back around and she's like, I really enjoyed your presentation. I'd love to know where you get your material from. I said, "Man, no disrespect, all due respect. I don't think that's a question you want to ask me because you may not like the answer." Circle around again, more people come. Same lady. By that time now, I had a pretty much an audience around me. So I said, let's put this to bed once and for all. Everything I taught here today came out of the Bible. I kid you not. You know those cartoons where you see the jaw drop and you got to try to scoop it up? Other people probably had to help her scoop her jaw off the floor. She said, "That's not true because you never once quoted a Bible verse." I said, "Did I not say to you that you didn't want to ask me that question because you wouldn't like the answer?" I said, "You spent your entire morning listening to your pastor. What value am I adding if I cannot show you how what you learn from him is applicable to one's life?" I could have come in here and done that. But did you come in here to hear a preacher? I had one this morning. You wanted leadership, and every leadership lesson came from the Bible. Just carried away. No, I say that not to sound egotistical, but just to highlight the fact that there's no coincidence that the first one that popped out of my head is your spiritual well-being. I'm not trying to convince you or convert you or to whatever your beliefs are. That's okay. It's okay. One of the things that I've learned from reading and following Christ, Jesus never once tried to convince anybody that their belief was wrong. He never did. He just continued to disciple and minister. You don't have to accept it. It's like the law of gravity. I'm not going to try to convince you that it works. You don't want to believe me? Step off a building and let's see how that works for you. It works. Whether you want to believe it or not. If you are not in harmony, if you are not aligned, if you're spiritual, whatever it is, whomever you want to believe in, if you have not achieved that balance, the other four are meaningless.
Yeah.
If you are out of harmony in any one area, and there's an exercise that I do in the workshop where I get you to lay your hand flat on a sheet of paper and draw your fingers out, outline of your fingers and fill it in, yada yada, to show how the 5 pillars work. But if anyone is out of alignment, that could possibly be the reason why you're not achieving what you set out to achieve. Spirituality. What are your beliefs? I have yet to find someone who want to get rid of poverty and remain poor. The way to combat something is not to fight against the thing. What has the war on drugs achieved for us? More drugs. The war on crime, more crime. Anytime there was a war on something, it just created more of that thing. That which you give your attention to, that's what flourishes. So you ask yourself this: if I look and I'm not happy with what I'm seeing, am I giving my attention to the thing that I want? Don't get me wrong. If I say to you, don't think of a pink elephant, what are you going to think about? A pink elephant, of course. No, I'm serious. Do not think of a pink elephant with an ivory tusk. That's the first image that comes in your mind. But I told you don't do it. Contrary to popular belief, my friends, your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what you vividly imagine. It does not know the difference. So if that's the case, what do you believe in? What are you telling yourself? What conversations are you having? Do you know that the person that we spend the most time conversing with is ourselves on a daily basis? Prove me wrong. You talk to yourself audibly or otherwise. You talk to yourself more on a day-to-day basis than you do with anyone else. So what are you telling yourself? You don't see results in your life if you don't acknowledge the fact that my thinking stinks. Stinking thinking, that which occurs between the 6 inches of these little flaps right here. Stinking thinking is a cause of the detrimental results that everyone achieves in their world. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. Not as a man doeth, not as a man saith, but guess what? There is a direct relation, because as you think, you will say. As you say, you will do. As you do, you will get results. I don't need to know. I can look at your results and tell you, you got stinking thinking. We got to work on that right now. People don't like hearing me say that. Oh, you're being rude. I know. Contrary to popular belief, you think I was born out of rudeness. Tell people all the time. I remember getting off a plane, and when you get off the plane, you got to go through the immigration and you go through the customs. So on my passport, it says place of birth, Paradise. So I fill out a little immigration form, and immigration form has nationality, and I left it blank. So when I got to the immigration officer, he's like, "Oh, it's incomplete. Nationality is." I said, "Well, to satisfy you, put African." He's like, "Were you?" So he trying to be smart. He's like, "Where's your African passport?" I said, "Sorry to disappoint you, but when they took me out of Africa, they didn't give me time to pack anything. So I ain't got none." He's like, "You know what? Move from in front of me." Stinking thinking. Everything, the results that you have, you look at the results in every area of your life. It dictates what you first thought about. As a man thinketh in his heart, as a man thinks, so he says, so he does, so he gets. Don't blame the getting, blame the thinking. What are you believing in? The people around you, what are they causing you to believe? We've dealt with who? What do you think? The people around you. My mother used to always say to us growing up, you're the average of your 5 closest friends. Show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. I didn't understand that statement. I'm like, you just didn't want me to have friends because we are shooting marbles and dirt and all the kind of stuff and digging up worms in the dirt. So I figured you just don't want us to have fun. But then I grew up to learn that the average of your 5 closest friends. One of the tools that I provide that builds on that statement and is aligned to the pillars as well is, how do you identify who those 5 friends should be? That's going to break a lot of hearts when you go through this process. It's going to break a lot of hearts, because you'll realize that the people who you are choosing to align to, they don't even deserve to be close to you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that go make enemies of anybody now. You understand? That's not what I'm saying. But it will cause you to have that critical evaluation of your stinking thinking. And if you can't, Plato was the one who said the first and greatest accomplishment that one can have is over self. And if we cannot do that for ourselves, If I cannot take that look in the mirror on a day-to-day basis and critically assess me, I am failing me, then I'm not adding value to you. So your spiritual well-being, that's what it is. It's not about church and clap and hallelujah, but it's your belief system. Again, remember the story about where things come from? That's from the book of Proverbs. Yeah, as a man thinketh, it was a proverb saying. Again, but I didn't have to say. I'm a person of faith. Forgive me. It's hate me or love me. It's not gonna change anything. I'm gonna love you right away. Okay. Pillar number 2. Physical well-being. Let's talk about that for a minute. Now, physical well-being is a broad, generic topic, but it covers physical fitness, obviously, which is the obvious one, but your health, your nutrition, your skincare routine, your hair routine, it covers everything from you can think of. If you are not in the best shape possible, do you want to sit and read, write, think? If you're not eating healthy, if you're not eating right, because again, I've always had the whole conversation about eating healthy, and people get confused into thinking that eating healthy means that's what you stack on your plate and that kind of stuff. But I may be eating the right foods, but I may not be eating the right portion of foods. I may not be eating with the right frequency. I may not be, you know what I mean? So my body and brain is not being fed. And if you're not feeding your brain, it feeds on itself. I learned something in biology that while every cell in your body reproduces, it sheds, and it comes back, your brain cells don't get more. Isn't that unfair? You can shed your skin. You can your hair grows, your skin, your nails, you know what I mean? But the brain cells never reproduces. Why is that? The brain cells that you were born with. But wouldn't it be fun if we can take away this stinking thinking brain cell right here, wherever it is, and put it aside and replace it? Or if we take it out, we know it's going to grow some more. Brain cells don't reproduce, my friends. Why would you not want to take care of it? Why would you not want to feed it? I said earlier, it's not what comes, it flows in and through me. So what is coming out, if you're not protecting your temple, if you're not taking care of it, if you're not treating it as that which it was intended to, this, I call it the meat suit. I say, because again, back into my spiritual talk, I treat it like I tell people all the time, I'm not a human being here on a spiritual journey. I'm a spiritual being on a human journey, because I believe and serve that which says to me that I was created in his likeness and image, and if I got to worship him, I got to do so in spirit and in truth. So that makes me like him, who is not a physical being. So forget about the meat suit, but it's a temple which I need to protect. It's a temple which I need to take care of. It's a temple which I need to nourish. It's a temple which I need to say, okay, fine, even if it's one push-up a day, even if it's one sit-up a day, if it's one jumping jack a day, that is required. There is no living organism that does not move. None. Why would you want to be a couch potato and think that you're going to help you achieve success? You can't surf your way to success. You can serve your way to growth. You can serve your way through wellness. If you're not growing a plant, I got a plant sitting on my desk since 2018 when my dad passed away. It was a gift with a few plants in there, as well as some flowers and stuff. And the flowers had to be picked, they died and stuff like that. And every day I look at it and I can see when I water it, and I expect a day later to see one of the plants bud out something new. Then I watch it fall and I watch the one die. But if it just sits there and I just keep it there, it would have been an empty pot by now. What are you doing for your health? What are you doing for that being? What are you doing to take care of that vessel? Again, harmony. If one is out of harmony, trust me, all the others are going to be out. And all these feed into your success. Every one of these are critical into your success. So we spoke about pillar number 1, spiritual well-being. We spoke about your physical well-being. Okay? Let's talk about one which people usually gravitate to quickly. I call it the economical well-being. And I specifically chose to use economical versus finance because it covers that as well. I remember someone saying to me, I was working on a project and I had set a financial goal for that project. And I said, I want to meet this financial goal. I said the time, yada, yada, yada. And it's shared with a couple of people. And it says, oh, you're too focused on money. Money is the root of all evil. I was tempted. I was so tempted. I was like, I just walked away. I'm like, my friend, I know we're tempted to hear things and repeat them, but money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that is the root of your evil. I don't love it. I don't. I have a gift. God has gifted me with knowledge, skills, and capabilities to generate money, so I never had to worry about it. I ain't gonna tell you that it's gonna come from here, there, tomorrow, but I have a gift. But I don't love it. I love what it can do, who it can help, how I can. It is bigger than the dollar. Understand that. So that's why I chose to say it's an economical well-being. What impact are you making on an economical front? What are you doing for that person and the next person who you know? It's a give and it shall receive. Give and it shall be given back into you. You know the mistake we make with that statement? 2 mistakes. We assume that the receiving has to come from the person we gave to. It never said give and the person won't give back to you. Give, you shall. But you may never know when and from whom you shall receive. But the selfishness in our nature always causes us to, I want to get before I can give. It's only when I get, I will give. Oh, really? Give, and it shall be given back. Give, and ye shall receive. What are you giving? We make the mistake, and that's why I said economical well-being. We make the mistake of when we hear give, we got to get our billfold out and we got to give. You might be right for some people. You ever thought of giving love? Guess not. Have you ever thought of giving your time? A kind word? A conversation? A good morning? Hello? Smile? Brush your teeth first, so make sure there's no spaghetti in there or something. Because I mean, some people may not tell you anything, but you might want to do a flossing next time before you come out here spitting spaghetti at people. Doesn't have to be money, but you give. You give a smile, you get money back. And plus it helps the muscles in your cheek, for crying out loud. Come on. Smile till your cheeks hurt. A kind word. I had the opportunity to call my internet provider the other day because I was not happy with my internet service. I had switched providers because I got angry and I was like, you know what, I'm fired, and I got rid of them and yada, yada, yada. So I called up the new one. I'm like, I wasn't happy with the service. The young lady answered the phone and I'm not sure if it's only me who observed this, but you get on the phone with a customer service rep, and they say, "Hi, my name is Aaron, and how can I have your name, please?" And I usually go, "Do you mind repeating that again, real quick?" As a matter of fact, you know what? Don't repeat it. Just tell me your name. Or what's the correct spelling of your name, so I can get the name. So I said, "Okay, fine. How are you today?" She's like, "I'm good." And forcibly she asked, "And how are you?" I said, "I so appreciate you taking time out of the service quota that you have to ask me how I'm doing. I'm absolutely fabulous." So they can hear the smile in my voice. She became calm. No rush, no fuss. I said, "You may not be able to solve my problem, but I might be able to solve yours." Because you sounded a little bit flustered. Not trying to be rude or anything like that, but is everything, you happy? You like your job? You love your job? It's a good job? You love helping people? Really? Ah, nice, nice. Let me make a quick suggestion right quick. Notify your voice next time before you answer the phone. If you're like truly excited about it. I mean, if I was in front of you, I might say to you, notify your face, but I mean, I'm not there, so just notify the voice. That comes across a little bit better, I think. I could be wrong. She laughed and, kiki, and long story short, she didn't solve my problem. They had to send a tech out and yada, yada, yada. But why am I telling you this story? Give and it shall be given back to you. Here is someone, I may be the only person who was pleasant to her all day in the hundreds of calls that she has to answer. I don't know that. I don't know that. What I have to say cannot be so overpowering that I cannot hear what the other person has to say. What am I giving? What am I giving? That was just a casual conversation with this individual. It's recorded for quality and assurance purposes and training purposes. So, I mean, play that part back when you go back to listen to it. Play it right quick. I know you'll be recording me. I mean, can I record you before we start this? Is this okay if I record you too? These are some of the questions I ask them when I get on the phone with them. I have fun with it. Puts a smile on their face. It calms them. Give something. I never show up to someone's home. Well, I never show up uninvited, but I never get invited to someone's home and don't bring a gift. Sometimes they don't need it, but I give. I tell people all the time, you cannot outgive a giver, and I'm a giver. You can't outgive a giver. Don't even try. My friends tell them all the time, don't try. Can't outgive a giver. So I call it the economical because, again, it's that street. Don't expect success to be something you go grab. There is no key. There is no secret. That's why it's your roadmap. You have the map, but it's like you gotta walk on that road. You gotta do the work. You gotta put in leg work. You gotta put in sweat equity to that success. So there's no key. Like, here's the key. Go achieve success. Here's the secret. Go get it done. It's your roadmap. Let's make sure that your roadmap is all working together. Let's make sure that we're getting you where you need to go. It's your roadmap. So we spoke a little bit about the spiritual well-being, physical well-being, the economical well-being. There's a toss-up between which one I should talk about next. You know what? Let's go with let's save the best for last. Let's go with your professional well-being. And I'm choosing to go with this one because this is the one where everybody wants to hear and talk about. Because this is the one where we talk about your career, your business, this is the one where we actually talk about the things that would bring you the success. No, I said career because, again, don't get me wrong. Your roadmap to success is not about telling you that you need to go fire your boss. It's not about telling you that you need to start a business. I don't know what it is. You maybe want to plant potatoes. You may want to go be a cashier. But it's about you being the best at that which you choose to be. That's why you need a roadmap. It's not saying that I can't work with you because you don't have a business and you have a job. But are you being the best at that job? Are you giving 100% to that job? I was taking the elevator one day. My office was on the 10th floor of this building. And so it's a long ride. So I got in on the ground floor and there were some folks in the elevator already, and I'm hearing the conversation, and this person is lamenting about coming into work, and they want to come in here, blah, 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 blah. That person came off on the 10th floor. So I had the privilege to walk the corridor with that person towards work. Now, believe it or not, I've been consulting there for many years, and it's the first time I was seeing this individual. I didn't realize they were actually an employee there. So I was like, oh. So I said to him when he got out of the elevator, I said, we're in an elevator, so all conversations are public. Agreed? He says, yes. So I got a question for you. If you hate coming here so much, why do you do it? He tried to be snarky and he said, but you come here. I said, you didn't hear me complain, did you? Was I saying anything about not liking coming here? Why do you do it? Why aren't you doing that which you love to do? He said, oh, because I have a mortgage and I have kids in college. I said, okay. So what it is about here that is so important that you doing it because you have a mortgage and kids in college? Oh, but he needs to pay for it. I say, oh, okay. So you need money to pay for it. You don't really need here. You need money. So is there something else you could be doing to make the money you need and not come here? Have you ever, I never thought about it. I said, maybe you probably just didn't think. You never thought about, no, it's not that you didn't think about that. You just did not think. See, I've come to the realization that people will complain to you if you encourage the complaining. And I don't encourage complaining. Not because I'm unsympathetic. I've heard it all. I was living in Jamaica and I met this little old man. I say little old man because he actually was little in stature. And he was an elderly man. And I was walking up the road and I was coughing. I was probably maybe 19, 20. And he said, young man, you're coughing because you're drinking milk. You need to stop drinking that stuff. That's poison. I'm a young guy at that time, so I was reckless. I wanted to be reckless to him. But then I said, you know what? I went home and I told my aunt, don't want no more milk. No more milk. Migraines went away, the unnecessary coughing and phlegm went away. So I went back to find the little old man to thank him. But hey, thank you so much. So he said, I'm going to tell you a story. He said, there's a man sitting on the porch in a rocking chair and there's a dog lying at his feet and the dog is groaning. The man is rocking, the dog is groaning. The man is rocking, the dog groans. Every day the man sits on the chair, he rocks, the dog groans. So one day he asked the man in the chair, well, why is your dog always groaning? You're rocking, the dog groaning. Are you squeezing the dog's tail? He's like, nope. So why is the dog groaning? He said, oh, because he's laying on a nail. So your dog is laying on a nail on the porch and groaning. Why doesn't he just get up from the damn nail? He said, oh, because he's not hurting enough yet. And that's how most of us are. We are going to stay in a situation and complain about the situation. We're not hurting bad enough yet. See, one of my very close friends, Andrea Raquel, she said to me one day, she was introducing me to someone, and she said, I'm less abrasive. I want a more or less abrasive coach. And I'm like, she's partially right. I'm just more polished at delivering the abrasion. You know, it's like she would be the fire hose on you and blow you out the way. I'll be the water that will drip on you until I pour that hole in your forehead. Dip, 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 dip. Annoying. That's me. Until that bing, light bulb goes off and you're like, aha. Let me put a C next to that one. I want to change that. People will never change until they're hurting bad enough. Relationships, jobs, finances. How bad are you hurting? Have you done the assessment? Do you really know how bad you're hurting? Until they get to that stage, it will never change. Homeboy would complain to everybody every morning in the elevator, all the way up to the 10th floor, walk down the corridor and complain some more. He never complained to me after that day. Because people entertained that conversation, not me. So your roadmap is yours, not mine. I'm the Iceman. I'll get you fired up about it. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it because it's yours. I'll get you fired up. Fired up! I'm gonna challenge you. But I will not challenge you without equipping you. Because you'll need that equipment. You would need those processes. You will need those tools. You will need the resources that would help you. So you're not just rah-rah excited about it. You'll be focused and committed towards the attainment of that which you say you want, because it's not me that's telling you what it should be. Lighting the fire below that for you. That's what we do. So when we talk about the professional well-being, it could be a job. Let's get you being the best at that job. Just make sure that's a job really that you want to be in, though. It could be a business. You want to start a business. Sure. I will never be that person who's going to be in your boat and while you're pouring water out and pouring water in. Let's pour water out together. There's some people in your boat, in your boat, and you and they're digging holes. You're pouring and they're digging holes. Pouring and they're digging holes. And pouring and just throw them overboard, my friends. To get rid of them. Your business will fail because of that. Sometimes you gotta, it's like the bonsai, you gotta prune that little branch off so a fresh one can grow. When we talk about your professional women, we're talking about what impact are you making, not only for yourself, what impact are you making in your family? What impact are you making on your job, your business? What impact are you having in your community? Everyone wants to leave a legacy, but no one wants to build that legacy to leave. You don't go to sleep for 20 years and wake up, I snored my way through my legacy. Here it is. There you go. Are you following what I'm saying? Are you, again, we started and it says, what's your purpose? At the beginning, I was like, what is your purpose? I could easily just throw everything at you, but you have no idea what purpose you're using this for. I have failed you in that regard. So when we talk about professional well-being, it's bigger than. And we separated professional from the economical because it could be a nonprofit. It could be It could be just your family. Are you the influence in your family, in your marriage, for your spouse, for your children? If you've got no discipline for yourself, please don't try to discipline your children. They go listen. A child will be the first person to call you a hypocrite without calling you a hypocrite. Clean your room. They come look in your room, but they ain't gonna tell you nothing. They will not clean their room. Not because they're defiant to your instructions, but because you're a hypocrite. Study, do this. You're not doing that which you're trying. So you're not being that which you're trying to influence. And that's what leadership is, by the way. Influence. Nothing more, nothing less. You want to see something, be that something. You want to get something, be that something. That's it. It's not rocket science. So we covered 4 of the pillars so far. And again, I do apologize for not having at my command the luxury of time to really dive into it. But I'm just trying to skip over real quick. We looked at the spiritual well-being. We looked at the economic. We looked at the physical. We looked at the professional well-being. And I left this one for last because of the 5, this one's my favorite. I mean, they're all my favorite, but this one's my favorite. Your emotional well-being. I remember I said that if one is out of harmony, the others ain't gonna be working too right. About a year ago, there was someone who wanted to meet me for quite a while. And my brother, who knew my brother and kept asking my brother to, introduce us. And my brother was like, when the time is right, when the time is right, when the time is right. And when we finally got introduced, he wanted me to teach him how to trade the foreign currency markets. So I said, sure. And I said, but I'm going to tell you right now, trading the markets is 10% skill and 90% psychological. I'll just let you know right now. Obviously, he didn't listen. So he had, he started, and then he came back and he said to me, oh, he blew his account. And blowing your account in the market is when you take a trade and all your money disappears, you're gone to zero. And I was like, so when he told me he blew his account, I says, 10% skill, 90% psychological. What does that have to do with your emotional well-being? When I had a deeper conversation with him, I learned that he was in a tumultuous relationship with his then girlfriend. So I repeated, 10% skill, 90% psychological, emotional. I don't trade if I'm not in balance. I don't sit in front of the charts if I'm not in balance. I learned that the hard way. The skill is easy. It's red candle, green candle. Goes up, goes down. Right? Psychological. I'll prove it to you. Like the number 5. No secret. Think of 5 people that you know who are or were married. 5 people. They married, wedding, yada, yada, yada. Now, of those 5 people, just think of how many you know have a relationship that if you're not married, or if you are, you're like, I'd love to model my relationship off of that. Think of those. If there's anyone in that group, think of how many that you know they were married and no longer married anymore. Think of how many that you know, out of the 5 that are crappy relationship. They're just together maybe for the kids, or they're just coexisting and they're just whatever, just get rid of each other. You know what's the common denominator across all of those categories? They all made the same decision. let's get married. Common. Marriage is not the problem. Marriage is not the problem. The happy ones made the same decision that the unhappy ones made. The divorced ones made the same decisions that the ones who were still married made. Let's get married. But that harmony, that emotional stability in your relationship, if it's not there, then if you're having a fight, if you're having a disagreement, it will spill over in your ability to function in your business. You may not want to work out because you're depressed and you want to roll up in a ball. You may not want to spiritually pray or give homage or praise and sing because you just argued with your spouse. One out of alignment affects the other. Now, one of the questions I usually get asked is, well, what if I have 2, 3, or 4 out of alignment? Oh, well, you really got some work to do? But you gotta pick one. Pick one and you work on that. You're not ignoring the other 4 when you pick one. Don't get me wrong. You're not saying, okay, I'm gonna work on building my finances. I'm not gonna build my physical and nutrition. I'm not gonna build my relationships and ignore the finance. No, but you pick one and that gets the lion's share of your attention while the others. And then when this is up, you pick a next one, and you pick a next one, and you pick a next one, and you pick a next one. That's the strategy. That's where the equipping comes in. That's where the tools and the resources come in to get you towards that. What's your family life like? What's the relationship with your children? Are they avoiding you? Are you arguing and fighting with them because they came home today with half their head shaved and paint 6 green lines in that side and another pink line and you're mad at it? I mean, what's that like? That spills over. Your emotional well-being, to me, is one of the biggest factors here. Because if I am not taking care of me, we spoke about as a man thinketh, if I'm not taking care of, if I'm not nourishing that aspect of me, then I'm not relating to the people in my life in a manner which will keep me in harmony to get where I need to go. Every time I open my mouth, you're like, let me run away from this guy because he just always sounds so angry. I mean, dang, who crapped all over your parade? So that is a critical component of it. Now, we covered spiritual, covered the physical, the emotional, economical, physical. We covered the professional. We covered the 5 pillars. Now, while I didn't go into depth, there is an aspect of your roadmap to success that incorporates all of this. There are lessons and teachings that incorporate all of this. And how do you apply that to your success? Because you may show up and say, oh, but my success is not about making money. I'm like, okay, that's okay. I'm fine. I'm not attached to what it is. I want you to be attached to what it is. I want you to embrace it. Do you know that most people who set New Year resolution, I think its numbers are like 80+% fail or quit within the first 2 weeks? But do you know why? I have a 6-part teaching that I do as to the reasons why people fail at those resolutions. And not necessarily a New Year resolution, is that setting a goal. Because people set goals, whether you set it at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the week, or the beginning of the month, or middle of the year, they set goal for the wrong reasons. They set goal without understanding, wait a minute, is this goal that I'm setting or I'm pursuing, is it really mine? I grew up in the Caribbean. And when I was 16 years old, I came out of version of high school here. And at the time, everybody was going off to university, yada, yada, yada. So I was offered a scholarship to go to one of the other islands, had a big university, to study quantity surveying. And everybody was like, yeah, you should go study quantity surveying. You're getting a scholarship. It's da-da-da-da. Quantity surveying is going to be in high demand. I wanted to study computer science because I was in detention one day and I saw the principal with his little box in his office. He was an Apple old computer. And I saw him doing some stuff on the keyboard. And I was like, that looks fun. So that's what I wanted to go study. So I came back and I said, I don't want to do computers. I don't want a scholarship. I want to go study computer science. Boy, were they mad at me. Had I gone to study computers, study quantity surveying, I would be pursuing someone else's dream, not mine. People set goals because they're doing it for someone else. Oh, I want to lose weight because you know what? I don't like how my wife looked at me. I'm growing as a little pot belly. Or you know what? I am going to set this goal to stop drinking or stop smoking or whatever because I got enough flack about it or whatever. Don't get me wrong. That may be things that you genuinely need to achieve. But until you own it, until you make it yours, until you set that for you, you'll never achieve it. And even if you do, you will be at that person because they made you do it. You feel it is their fault. There's no ownership. I never regretted going and study computer science when I did. Yes, quantity surveying critical. Come full circle. Guess who has a quantity surveyor in their back pocket? Hey, my brother is a quantity surveyor now. He went and he did his engineering degrees, and then he was like, oh, there's an opportunity to do quantity surveying. There's no one. I'm going to do quantity surveying. I'm like, I got a quantity surveyor if I need one. But the computer science was mine. I wasn't doing it because mom said. I wasn't doing it because dad said. I wasn't doing it because the teacher said. I wasn't doing it because it was free money, something that I owned and wanted to accomplish. That is how we need to approach when we set a goal. There is a process for setting a goal. And I think it's 4 or 5 steps I go through where I go through the goal setting versus the goal achieving process. Okay? And the reasons why, if you don't follow these, it's not going to work. If you don't go about setting goal in this manner, it won't work. One of them is the goal really your goal? Is it mine? Did I come up with this and own it? And another one, I don't want to, run on a bunny trail. Another one is, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, do I know how to get this done? Can I achieve this goal? If you can, it's not a goal, my friends. Set a bigger one. If you're starting a business and you say, I want in my business to grow to $1 million, and you say, I know I can do this and I know how I'm going to get this done in another 6 months. Set a different number. Set a bigger number. Maybe it's not $1 million, maybe it's 10. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Good. Now let's get to work. You wake up every day. I don't know how I'm going to. You don't need to know how. The minute you know how to do something, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Faith is taking the first step, not knowing where the next one is going to take you. You don't need to know how. Suspend the belief that you need to know. You don't need to know. No eaglet ever flew out of their nest. None. The mother kicked them out. They strengthened their wings on the way down. And then they soar. They didn't say, okay, no. Mama eagle, you gotta go. And they strengthen their wings. And then they glide. And they soar. You don't need to know how. Suspend that belief. Suspend that belief. I do appreciate you guys taking the time. Like I said at the beginning, you could have been anywhere and doing anything at this time. And I am eternally grateful that you chose to share this time with me. It is my desire to impart that which was given to me through the many mentors, the many teachers, through my faith to you, with the hope that you can get some ACTs out of it. You can get a few A's, you can get a few C's, you can get a few T's out of it. And I'm eternally grateful. I do thank you for your time. And I wish you much success in your roadmap. Thank you.
If you're not on the video conference, that was Anthony dropping the mic just now. That noise was Anthony dropping the mic.
I will now
Thank you
open
so
up
much.
for a Q&A.
So everyone in Green Room can hear you. So if anyone wants to ask questions. And why can
I was a little bit concerned because I was using this new laptop, using my pin-on mic, but when I plug the mic in, I don't think I hear anybody when I plug the mic in.
And why is Andrew always breaking whatever app we're on? Like, why?
So here's the funny thing. No, I'll give you the story on Green Room. So I get on Green Room, and it tells me, hey, you have an update, and I'm like, no. I updated this thing this morning. So I go over to, it sends you over to Google Apps, the Play Store, and there's no update for it. And I'm in it, and I log in, and you promote me up there to speak, and I have to keep it from the screen from timing out. As soon as it times out, when I bring it back, it puts me back and says, hey, you have an update. And now there's an update available.
The same thing is happening to me. Oh, first time it was not there, now it says it's there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Well, right now you're talking, but you're not on stage. How's that?
Who? I'm not on stage?
No, you're not on stage.
I see myself on stage.
Oh, okay. So it's just me.
Okay.
It's my. Hold on.
Now, what's funny is I see Denise in two places, which is
time so that we could have
Oh no, okay. I don't. I see Denise and Joe. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Tell Andrew he sees my husband.
That's Joe. It's not
Denise. I got it.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so weird. You guys, I did the airplane mode refresh. Nothing. Just now, I invited Andrew to the stage, and it didn't just appear. It literally moved him up. So whatever. Thank you for joining us. I see you in the chat. You know we can't respond, Damien.
I was not even aware that there's.
I know. I know you totally forgot, but it was awesome. So I'm so glad that you're just natural at this. Hey, Casey, thank y'all for being here. We were with Damien and Casey earlier around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Our time, of course, it was early morning their time, but quite ironically, Casey and Damien are on a similar topic this week and going to be talking about this weekend. Balance seems to be the theme. Thank you, Denise, for asking Anthony to speak on the 5 pillars.
I volunteered him because he
No, she didn't volunteer. She didn't volunteer me. She voluntold me.
But it was so great and perfect because I had a couple conversations with people. This is a great topic. You delivered it so amazingly. I'm glad that everyone that is connected to us is in alignment and discussing the same things, because I think that's the giving of the help that people don't realize is free and easy.
Right.
Get on a call, get on some platform and listen to a leader tell you what you need to be doing sometimes, so it's cool.
Well, I just want to say it was a really good presentation. And even with all of the glitchiness, I got to hear 95% of it. So.
Oh, you glitched out? Thank you. Appreciate it, Andrew.
Oh, listen, I got in, I was in for a little bit. I got bumped. I got back in. It was a lot of chaos. It's just, if I wasn't dealing with this on a regular basis, it would be frustrating.
Since you said in no particular order, like when you teach on this, do you always teach it in no particular order? Do you normally go in a particular order? Like when it's like a longer class session, do you feel like there's an area that you have to focus on first with people or anything like that? Or do you literally feel like it's no particular order because it's so important that you have balance and all of it?
And that's a good question. There are two approaches that I take with it. There is a one-on-one approach that I have with clients, and the order is usually dictated by the intake questionnaire. And then that gives me an idea as to what I need to work on first. But in a generic setting, no, there is no specific order. I usually do the overview first, and then from there jump into one. Because one of the things that I've realized over time is someone may be appreciative of, you know what, I want to work on my physical first. So, and I don't really care about the emotional for whatever reason. But then the reality of it all is the person in a group setting who wants their physical, the person sitting next to them may want to be, you know what, I need to get my money right. So I want to work on the economical well-being. So that's why I do the overview so folks are aware. And then pretty much the exercise that I have them do at the very beginning covers each and every one. So they can give priority to a single one, but I don't focus on teaching them in a specific order, because I do when I do this type of presentation, then I just pick an order that I do it in. Sometimes it's the same order as the last time, sometimes it's not. But most times it depends on how I'm led.
And I love that you said if it's a one-on-one, then it really depends on their intake because, right, you can't talk to somebody about spiritual things if they're hungry. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Where, if anyone who's listening to this is totally new, thank you, Cheryl Frame, for asking. Your one solution is YOS. Your roadmap to success is Anthony's proprietary service. Anthony, tell everyone where they can fill out said intake form and where they can follow up and get into or find out more about how to get their roadmap to success and et cetera.
So you can find me literally just look for Ask Anthony RF on pretty much every social media platform, or you can go to your roadmap2success.com and that roadmap is the roadmap2success.com, and you can find me there specifically for your roadmap to success. But to find me, it's either AnthonyForrester.com or AskAnthonyRF.com.
I just had the most giant spider you ever want to see in your whole entire life crawl up on me.
Oh, it crawled on you?
No, it just crawled up I said up on me, like you roll up on somebody, like the spider rolled up on me. Like I was looking like Little Miss Muffet and I had to I'm getting good at this. I put the mute on before I squealed and jumped out of my skin. But then I had to casually do it because I didn't want him to jump and fly somewhere. And then I killed him. I'm sorry for anybody.
Ouch.
Sorry,
Ouch.
spider, but you were too big and too hairy and too close in my house.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ooh.